How about another revolver video? This one a Smith & Wesson 627 V-Comp Performance Center. And I'm actually going to do a little side-by-side with my 327 TRR8. There are some significant differences, but some similarities. Stay with me. Thanks for dropping in while we take a look at the Smith & Wesson Performance Center 627 V-Comp. Once again, on loan to me from my friend Craig, who's loaned me several guns in the past. He has an interesting collection. I don't know if I'll ever work my way through his collection or not. Anyway, the 627 is a -5 model, and it is the V-Comp. We're going to talk more about the compensator in just a minute. 5-inch barrel, and actually it's a little longer than that when you get the comp on. We'll show you what it's like without the comp shortly. 8-shot, and it is cut for moon clips. Now it's pretty dirty because Craig shot it a lot. I have shot it a lot, but again, that's going to be why it's dirty. Smooth trigger. Your typical Smith & Wesson hammer. Now the barrel and the frame are stainless steel, but kind of a matte finish, and stainless steel cylinder release, and looks like probably MIM'd. All these could be stainless, but I'm guessing they're MIM'd. Trigger and hammer. Smith & Wesson did switch to MIM parts a number of years ago. I didn't look up the -5 to see what the changes were on it, but my guess is MIM's probably part of it. Stainless steel cylinder that is not matte finished, and also a stainless seed extractor rod and a stainless star, but it's pretty dirty right now. Adjustable sights, typical Smith & Wesson. Adjustable rear sight for windage and elevation. You can see I did have to crank it a little bit to the right to get it to shoot where I want it. And there's a painted front sight. That's not how it comes from the factory, but Craig did paint that to give it a little better visibility. I prefer black, but it does give a fairly good sight picture. There's no serrations on the top of the barrel at all, but it is a heavy barrel. In fact, the whole gun is heavy. It weighs out at 46.9 ounces. And again, it's relatively heavy. It's built on the end frame, which is where you get the cylinder for the 8-shot cylinder guns. And a lot of the 357s are L frame, but they even make some K frame. It does have a stop on the trigger. It's an over travel stop, and from the back I can see that does look more like it is a MIM'd part rather than a machine part. Trigger comes out, Smith & Wesson advertises right around 10 pounds, and putting my spring gauge on it comes around to 10, but it's a relatively smooth trigger. It stages nicely, so if you go fast with it, you can actually stage it, and it's almost like shooting single action. It's fairly smooth all the way through. Typical Smith & Wesson trigger. I do like it. Just a tiny little bit of over travel, because if you see that the over travel stop just about hits the frame when you manually cock it, but when you shoot it in double action, you've got just a little bit of play after that. I don't know how well it's going to show it here or not. Just a little bit of play after it breaks. These are Smith & Wesson grips, but I'm sure they're Hogue monogrip. They are a neoprene or a synthetic type material. There's nothing covering the back strap, so it doesn't give a lot of cushioning. But again, a 357 and a heavy gun like this, it's not really necessary. Let's put it side by side real quick with my 327 TRR8. Did a couple of videos in the past. I'll show the range video coming up here. It'll have some of the footage rolling into this one as it is. Same thing, 8-shot cylinder. A couple of differences on. Obviously, you see these have a top and a bottom rail, so you can mount a light, mount an optic. I did have an optic on it for a while, but different shaped barrel. Now this barrel is also a shrouded barrel, whereas the one on the 627 is all machined and solid. It's not a shrouded one. Trigger is about the same though. Again, it is empty. It's still about 10 pounds, still has that over travel stop, but again, it's a nice trigger. The gun stages nicely. The scandium frame on this, even with those rails, cuts about a half a pound off of this gun, bringing it in at 39.1 ounces, so 7.8 ounces, almost 8 ounces less, almost half a pound less. Sights are pretty similar, although there's a gold bead front sight, and it's almost a Patridge style front sight on the 327 TRR8. By the way, that's tactical railed revolver 8-shot. So gold bead on the front, same basic notch on the back as opposed to the red ramp on the front of the 627. The sight blade on the rear though is a little different on the 627. It's squared off sharp corners. On the 327, it's rounded corners. By the way, these rails are detachable. If you don't want to run a rail on it, that's fine. Let's see. The other thing that is interesting is that the 627 is just, since it's a steel frame, there's nothing special above the cylinder gap, because you get a lot of hot gases out of that cylinder gap, and it can actually cut into the frame. With a scandium frame, you can see they put in a metal shield in there, so that when you do get the blast, by the way, this is well shot too. I haven't cleaned it in a while. So when you do get the blast, it doesn't cut into the scandium or the lightweight frame. Same kind of grips on it. Basically the 327, 627, same basic design, just different material and slightly different handling characteristics. I want to show you the compensator on this though. I'm not going to show the removal of it, but you can see that it is removed, and we'll come back in just a minute when I have it off. So one screw, a hex screw with a washer to hold it on, and the compensator does slip over you got about 3/8 of an inch of barrel sticking out there, which accounts for your 5 inches from the front of the cylinder to the end of the barrel. And the compensator does get really dirty. It's got 3 slots on the top, and the slots are progressively larger. And there, on the end of the barrel, there is just a little bit of, how well you can see it here, a little bit of a reverse crown. Actually, it's not even a crown, it's a step down. And I'm not sure why specifically they did that, but I'm sure Smith & Wesson has a reason for it. So the compensator adds a fraction of an inch. It actually comes out to a 5 5/8 inch barrel once you get the compensator blast direct, or whatever you want to call it, there in the end. So I didn't shoot these on the same day. Obviously, I did the testing on the 327 quite a while ago, but it was really, really nice out to 50 yards. In fact, at 50 yards, you can see that I'm hitting the 6-inch plates on the Texas Star. Not every shot, obviously, but doing okay with that little 327. Wonderfully accurate gun. 627 is, I shouldn't say it's any less accurate, but again, I shot these a while apart, and maybe my skill has deteriorated a little bit. Entirely possible. I had a little bit more struggle at 50 yards. Let's go for the gong. 16-inch high right. Come on. There we go, 12-inch below it. 8 more rounds of Lost River. I got the 12, let's go for the 10-inch, just to the left of the 16. Eight-inch below that. Yeah, the plate is moving, but I think I've probably got the shepherd's hook behind it. I should have, what, 1 round left? Oh, 3 rounds left. Can I do a 6? Again, I think I probably got the shepherd's hook. But hey, it's moving. I'm happy with that. Let's go back to the gong. Now I get the 6. And I didn't count. All right. No, I didn't shoot the Texas Star with the 627. I also shot the 627 at 25 yards, which is something I didn't do with the 327. We'll let some of that footage roll in here. 25 yards, and we'll start with the prairie dog, excuse me, the raccoon sitting over there on the right. Yellow with a gray center. All right, black crow next to him. Head flipper on the black silhouette. Red woodchuck. And that's a misfire. See if it'll hit a second time through. Red woodchuck. There we go. Green standing prairie dog. Oh, come on. And on the last shot. And finally, I didn't shoot the 327 at the plate rack, but I did shoot the 627 at it. And a couple different types of ammunition. Let's go ask Alice. All right, the plates. Not a blistering hot run, but that's okay. Let's go for the prairie dog. There we go. Ah, come on. Moon clip, supposed to go in quicker. So that brings me to the final point I want to talk about on these, and that is the advantage of moon clips. Wow, moon clips make loading so much easier. Just drop them in. I didn't drop in quite as smoothly that time. I wonder how it's going to work on the 327. Yeah, about the same level. About the same level of struggle there. Not really struggle, he should drop right in. And then of course they all eject together. You gotta have a moon clip tool, obviously, to put them, well, to make it easier to put the rounds in the moon clip, take the empties back out. But it does make for loading much easier. You can also single load these cartridges, or you can use a speed loader. So you have three different options: single load, speed loader, or moon clip. Out of the three methods, I prefer moon clip. Smith & Wesson actually came out with a 627 in, I think it was about 1989. It was originally a 6-shot version, and then they came out with the 8-shot Performance Center at about 1996. I'm not sure the exact date that the V-Comp came out. Also, a little difference in price. There's about $300 difference between the 627 and the 327 TRR8 now. So again, a little bit pricier. Actions work just the same. Heavier gun, lighter gun, which gives you optics. Again, there's so many good things in the Smith & Wesson catalog. All right, that's probably a not so quick look at the Smith & Wesson 627. Again, I want to thank my friend Craig for loaning that gun to me for the review, and thank you for stopping in.